Greetings, friends. Thank you for clicking on this video. Once again, Jerome and I are back with conversations with the authors. If you watched the last video, you saw us discussing our book, Battle of the Sexes, A Beginner's Guide to Understanding the Mind of the Opposite Sex. We went through the first two chapters, how we felt about them, what inspired us to write the book, how we got the ideas that we came up with, and you got to learn a little bit more about it. So now that you know us, thank you for coming back to be on this journey with us. This is our second episode of Conversations with the Authors. We only have one more episode before the release of our book on February 14th. So make sure that you stay tuned with us so that you don't miss anything. You get all the inside details of the book. And of course, you're going to purchase the book when it comes out. So Jerome, thank you for joining us again on Conversations with the Authors. Would you like to say anything before we start?
My Wi-Fi trash. I apologize for last episode. I want to tell you I was going to get better, but yeah, my internet provider is awful, but we ain't going to talk about that. So I'm glad y'all can make it back and join us.
Well, what we will do is keep Jerome's internet Wi-Fi lifted up in prayer. All right. All right, so this week we are talking about chapter 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 3 is the book of Mama's Boys. So as women, we all know that we have come in contact or been in a relationship with somebody who has an affinity for his mother. Okay, she is all in the business. She's all in the relationship. Every time we turn around, there she is, and we love her, but she don't know how to mind her business. So we thought it was really important to put this in the book so that we could really delve into those mother-son relationships. One of the quotes that I have in the book that a lot of my friends with sons have told me is that mothers raise their daughters and love their sons. And that is so true. We've seen that in so many different situations, and it just leads to being a mama's boy. So what we have here is the mama's boy checklist. In case you're not sure if you're a mama's boy, and you have to really evaluate yourself and look at the things that you're doing, some of those repetitive behaviors. And if you're doing them, then bro, you are probably a mama's boy. Okay. So number 1, talks to his mother multiple times a day. Okay. That's okay. Number 2, talks about his mother's cooking every time you cook. Okay, number 3, invites his mother to things that you anticipated being only for you two. Number 4, gives her insight into private conversations that you all have. And number 5, never tells his mother no and goes above and beyond to please her, even at your expense. So if you are doing all these things, if you see all these things happening in your relationship, then he's probably a mama's boy. And that is going to be a problem. So you want to make sure that you're addressing these things. If I cook, I don't want to hear about how good your mama made pot roast. If I made pot roast today, eat what I made, okay? And if it's not as good as your mother's, then go to her house, okay? Go to her house and invite me over so I don't have to cook. If something is only supposed to be me and you, why is your mother here? So in the book, there's several different men examples that I give. One of them is Randall. So if you watch the show This Is Us, which I was a major fan of, Randall is the example of like the perfect man that you want to be with. However, Randall was a mama's boy. If you watch the show, then you know that Randall was a mama's boy. She often showed up to things that him and his wife were doing that his wife thought was only him and her. And then his mother would show up. So you want to make sure you're avoiding all these things, because if not, they can really cause havoc in your relationship. So that's a little bit about my opinion of mama's boys. But Jerome, go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to go off and say this is unfair because we didn't do a chapter called Daddy's Girls, which is also a phenomenon that I am appalled with. Like, fathers be meddling. Like, so what? Did I got her somebody else and somebody else. Our rectangle, octagon, triangle, whatever this little love thing is we're doing, you just need to stay out of it. But I guess that's on a whole nother tip. Okay, mama's boys. First and foremost, Nikki, my mother makes good sweet potato pie. I don't know why I can't bring it up if whichever one of my girlfriends makes sweet potato pie. I'm like, I don't know why that's offensive. I'm just saying, like, she ain't cooking it right. Like, hey, my mom's makes it better. So as a recovering mother's boys, I can definitely give some insight and some stories for myself or other mama's boys. Like, for example, number 4. This is what we mean when we say gives insight into private conversations. I had this friend of mine, right? She was in a relationship with a dude. The dude was a mama's boy. He admitted to it. He would actually go back and tell his mother about their sex life. And so when she would come over for, like, I know, right? Like, no cap on this. When she would come over for dinner or whatever, my friend would be there eating. She might start choking on something, and the mother would make her sleep. Like, yeah, I heard that's not the only thing like choke on before you swallow. And it's like, yeah, you talk about embarrassing. I was like, bruh, just take the wind out of the room. I ain't make that up, people. Like, that's a real life story. So it's levels to it. It's nothing wrong with dudes that love their mothers, like Nikki was saying. But when those type of conversations are leaving your household, going back to her, hey man, now this is a problem, like wholeheartedly. When you had a situation, now number 3 is just wild. You shouldn't be planning. It reminds me of that movie that Steve Harvey did, but it's like you shouldn't have a situation where Valentine's Day is supposed to be you and your lady out, fellas, and then you invite your mother. Like, no, I just want to invite the 2 most important women. Like, how the wedding gonna look, bro? Your mother gonna put on a wedding dress too? She gonna walk down the aisle? You gonna have one on each arm? Like, come on, my guy, you got to stop that, man. And so number 5, never tells mother no, goes above and beyond, even at her expense. I think that's where the line crossed, because like I've heard horror stories of women being in serious relations with men. The man's mother will call the man and say, hey man, I need some money, and he'll just take it out of their joint bank account and just send it to her. And she's like, where'd the bill money go? And he's just sitting around like, I don't know. Then when she pressed him about it, well, my mom kind of needed some. I'm like, bro, what? That's a whole argument waiting to happen. Or even still, I know a situation where at one point in time, maybe I had something planned with a young lady. And like I said, I'm a recovering mother's boy, so I'm trying to break out of these habits as well. So I know a situation where one young lady, just back in college or whatever, she wanted to hang out. I'm like, look, I would love to hang out with you too this weekend, but I gotta go back. It's a long weekend. I gotta go cut the grass, do the bushes. Mom's depending on me. And she's just looking at me and she told me this to my face. She was like, bro, we gonna start controlling your own life, making your own decisions. Like, what do you mean I am making my own decisions? I make my own decisions to go do long weekend. It's like, I didn't really catch on to what you were really saying, but ladies, I know mama's boys, it's a struggle with us. I know it's a struggle. So we
But
all got to go to therapy and rehab.
in a situation like that, I feel like she was overstepping her boundaries, because there are levels to this, just as there are levels to all things in life. So, if you're just in a starter relationship, you're just meeting somebody, talking to them. Now, we're all grown now, we're not in college, but still, if you're just meeting someone, just getting to know them, and they are prioritizing their mother over you, then ladies, that's normal. Okay, he's not gonna drop everything for you in the beginning of your relationship. But if we're close to marriage or married, and you're still taking money out of the account to give to your mama without telling me is the thing. Without telling me is the thing. Because if she really needs it, then I may be like, okay, that's fine. But to do it without telling me, as if I shouldn't be privy to that information, is crazy. If you want to go cut your mama grass, go cut your mama's grass. That's wonderful. I love that for you and her. But if we have something planned, then you may have to cut mama's grass tomorrow or next weekend. So if on your priority list, if we're in a committed relationship, I need to be at the top of the list. And I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah, and that's why I'm about to come and chime in with you, Nikki. That's where the altercation and the conflict comes when it comes to mom boys. It's the fact that you want to be the number one priority, as you should be. Or it comes when he's doing things for his mother that he's not doing for her. Her birthday come around, she might get, I guess, a nice dinner, a card, some flowers. Mama birthday come around, she getting a really nice bag, might even get a new vehicle, which is not cap. Like, this is actually happening in real life. And so that's where the arguments come in. Like, hold on, why am I like the woman on his arm, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, done buried his children, but my birthday, I'm here at whatever little all you can eat buffet, if that, you know what I'm saying? But then his mom birthday come around, it's like a whole big ordeal. Like he out there just playing in the way.
Popping out,
Man,
right?
bruh. Yeah, man, I gotta get the crews together, man. I gotta make sure everything perfect. But
Yeah.
morning of her birthday, he just went and got some dead flowers. Like, hey, here you go, babe. I know that this all they had left, but you know, you my number one. And so that's where a lot of the conflict come into.
Yeah.
So I could feel that as well. And dudes, from our perspective, we gotta know how to manage that. And I know where the mama boy stuff comes from. Like a lot of us that are actually in this category, we pretty much grew up like in single parent households, and so we felt like we had to be the man in the house, so on and so forth. So we understand where it comes from. It just at some point in time, we do have to just cut that umbilical cord. We gotta, you know what I'm saying, draw that line. And it's a lot easier for men who grew up with fathers in their household, much easier. Because their dad, like, look, bro, you ain't the man in the house. This is your mother, this ain't your wife, this ain't whatever the case may be. He keeps that very
Mhm.
stern line in the sand. Like you over there as the son, you ain't the husband, you ain't the man in the house, you ain't none of that. Like you just here until you're 18 and you get out of my house. But
Right.
when you in a single parent household, you feel like you want to play on the other side of the fence and be Mr. Everything or whatever your father wasn't. And that's why I know for myself, that's why I did a lot of stuff that I did. But eventually it's like, okay, now you got your own life to live. Like, hey, bro, look, go start your own family, go find somebody and go live happily ever after, whatever the case may be. So that's what dudes, they have to manage that within themselves and say, love your mother. I want to help you most definitely. But at this point in time, I got to go and live my own life. And so that's where a lot of it comes from. But yeah, that conflict for real. Some dudes just sit in the background, don't say nothing, like the story I gave earlier. He just, I don't want to stand up to my mother. And these folks grown, like this ain't even college. This is like post-college individuals. So they probably like mid-20s, all of us at that point. And it's like, well, my mom said it's slick mark. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm like, bro. Needless to say that relationship did not last, but still,
Yeah.
that literally craziest mama boy story I have. It's like, shoot, crazy.
Well, and moms have to be aware too, because I have, as well as a lot of other women, have dated a mama's boy, and his mother was very much so like it was like his wife, and he was like her husband, and it was so aggravating. It interfered so many times on things that we had going on, and it really was an issue. But I think it was so second nature to both of them that they didn't realize how dependent they were on each other, or that was the kind of relationship that they had, that it wasn't a normal mother son. It literally was a husband wife relationship. And how can you have another relationship if that's how you're interacting with your mother? Like, how is that supposed to make me feel? So it gets really bad. And there's levels to mama's boys. Like, there's a difference between somebody who just really loves their mother and, does things for her or whatever. That's great. As women, that actually is one thing we love to see. Like, I love to see that good relationship with your mother, because 9 out of 10 of the time, if you have a good relationship with your mom, then maybe we'll have a good relationship as well, because you know how to treat women, you know how to respect women, you understand the importance of having a woman in your life. But when it crosses the line is when it just ruins relationships. So this checklist definitely is something, ladies, or men, whoever you are, if you're dating somebody who you think you may have somebody that's a mama's boy, check out the things on this list. Okay, if they are talking to their mom multiple times a day, that's kind of a yellow flag. Okay, we won't give that as a red flag. That's a little yellow. Like, okay, why you keep calling your mama? But I talk to my mom multiple times a day. So I'll give you a pass. But if he's inviting your mother to things, that's a red flag. He's inviting his mother to things that are only supposed to be you two Valentine's Day night shoot with y'all at the hotel. That's a red flag. Go ahead, Jerome.
Yeah, and so to the dudes, like I said, we always like try to get free game as well. You want to break out of your mama's boy's habit, or you want to disprove that your mama's boy. Biggest thing to do is to move out. And I mean, not just cliche, oh, I live with my mama, she lived with me. No, 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 no. You got to move out. That lease got to be in your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
That house, that mortgage got to be in your name. Townhouse, condo, wherever you live in. It could be a mobile home. Get out on your own.
Mhm.
Get from up under her, like literally under her roof. And then when you live on your own, you'll start to break some of these habits naturally. Because at that point in time, you got your own career. Okay, you ain't sitting at the table waiting for mama's cooking. It's like, okay, now you got to cook your own food or meet a woman who can cook. Now
Mhm.
it's like, cool, you working, doing your own stuff, trying to grind, make your bills paid. You ain't got time to call her multiple times a day.
Right.
You ain't gonna be thinking like after a long day, you come on to this empty party, like, man, the woman I want to spend my time with, my mother. That's cool, but no, you gonna be like, man, let me go see who I go pick up at wherever the local lounge or bar I go to. Maybe you slide on one of them little dating apps. So Jeffrey game on that one, dudes. Get from up on your mother, ladies. Look, man, after a certain age, I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers, but if he still living with his mother, you just gotta run like hell. Run, yes, yeah,
It's,
gone. It like, bro,
it's a red
you
flag. We
gotta go.
grown. It's a red.
It,
We
it
grown.
ain't no way around that. It
It's
ain't no,
no
well,
way.
there's exception. No, just go. Bye. Bro, listen, man, you go over there for that first date. And we actually talked about this, or I gave my little ratchet scenarios. You know what I'm saying? You gave some too, well, Nikki, like a lot better and more articulated scenarios. Lady, how that even gonna work? You can't even go back to your crib after the date. They go, well, hey man, I sneak in through the back. You gotta go through the back window. Can't go through the door. My mom don't like, me having ladies over after dark. But you cool going through the basement. I mean, I can, my room, sneak in there. It's like stuff like that. Lady, come on, man.
That's
You ain't
horrible.
trying to do all that.
That's the Bobby Boucher level. Another movie reference. If you've seen The Water Boy, that's the Bobby Boucher reference. My mama said. My mama said, listen, if he always got something out of his mouth talking about his mama said, no, girl, you got to run. No, no, whoever you are, you got to run. He is a mama's boy, and we gonna let him live his best life with his mom because
Yeah, it's just
it's about, but Jerome, I'm glad that you brought this portion up. That a lot of times in our community, our young men are brought up in single parent homes, and so they do take that position of the fatherly figure in the home or her husband figure. He feels like he has to be the one who protects and defends the household. That's a whole nother book. Like that's a whole nother conversation that we really have to delve into because it just messes up the way things are supposed to flow in the community because these men are feeling like they have to be husbands to their mothers and they're never able to really have a deep connection with anyone else outside of their mom. Like this particular person I was talking about, he's still single, and he's still up underneath his mama. So yeah, but that's a whole nother book. That might be book two.
yeah, and they feel like they gotta be the man of the house, fill that fatherly role at like 12 or 13,
Right.
like them formative years. So
Mhm.
by the time they 18, they institutionalized. Like they don't think nothing of it. Like, what you mean you ain't got responsibilities? Like, bro, what you mean? I'm 18. Yeah, I'm going out to have a good time. Nah, man, I gotta work, make sure I get this money and send it back to moms, make sure lights are on, gas, whatever the case may be. And so, like I said, somebody starts from an honorable standpoint, but the mental distortion is horrible.
Yeah.
It's like never at that age, because nobody's really thinking about marriage like that, especially young teenage boys. They'll think like, how is this gonna play out 10, 15 years down the road?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That just ain't gonna work. And so, casualties all around. But yeah, ladies, mama's boys, you ain't trying to do that. Dudes, you ain't trying to be, even if you're on the flip side of that example, you ain't trying to be sneaking no chick through like the basement door, the back of the wherever, man. You want to be able to bring her in the front door, everything cool,
Right.
and it's a real good vibe. You don't. Plus, moms mess your game up, which I talk about that some in the book. So pick up your copy. You ever try to run game with multiple women when you live with your mama? Man. Hey Keisha. Keisha, man, what you mean, man? My name's Sandy. Like, oh, I thought you were Keisha. You've been on the phone with you all the time. Hey Jerome, hey, what's up? Who is Keisha? I don't know who Keisha is. Yeah, Keisha. She was over there the other day. Mom, that ain't Keisha.
I'm gonna mess you up.
I'm be messing that game up, man. Yeah, I can't keep y'all together. He got y'all. I'm like, God dang.
That's hilarious.
Whole play messed up, man. Just yeah. So, fellas, get out your mama's house, man. They sabotage some. I ain't gonna say that. Mama's boys. If you are mama's boy and your mother knows you're mama's boy, she will sabotage your relationship sometime because like more time you with other women, less time you with her. That's for the women who are cool with their sons being mama's boy. So yeah, get out that category. You don't need her throwing shade, posting stuff online. Man,
Yeah, so let's just avoid it all. So identify if you're a mama's boy, identify it. It's okay. Just accept it, but work on it. That may be the thing in your relationship that you can work on is distancing yourself, not distancing, but just drawing some boundaries with your relationship with your mom. Okay. All right, so that's chapter 3. If you want to learn some more about chapter 3, you got to pick up the book. There's lots more in chapter 3 that's hilarious. Okay, so moving on to chapter 4, friends of the opposite sex. Okay, so what we have on the screen is, I believe, a quote from me. And this was just some things to remember when you have a friend of the opposite sex. It says, create a personal bubble. Listen, sis, I know you're a hugger, but you are hugging my man a little bit too long. Let's try using the traditional church hug and hug from the side, please. So I know that he is funny, but when you laugh at his jokes, slap your own knee, not his. If not, I may have to slap something as well. So yes, that was definitely for me. So these are just things to remember, ladies, because we've all this is an age-old question. Can men and women, be truly only be friends? And so I am always like 50-50 with this discussion because part of me says yes, because case in point, Jerome and I. Jerome and I have always only been friends. And so I could say yes in that aspect, but then I could think of some other times where a friend has become more than a friend. So I don't know. I think it just depends on who those people are. But if you are friends of someone of the opposite sex and they're in a relationship, I think there should be some clear boundaries that are drawn. And I think that you have to respect those. Another one, another boundary that I talk about is the book is don't call my man after 9 o'clock. And that's something that I personally don't do. When my guy friends started, getting engaged and having really serious relationships, I didn't call them after a certain time. I set certain boundaries because I didn't want their, significant other to think that anything was going on between him and I. So it's just something that you have to be aware of. But unfortunately, not enough people are cognizant or care to draw those boundaries. And so it creates a big mess. So, Jerome, what you think?
I feel like you throwing shade when you say big mess, because that describes my standpoint with a lot of female friends that I had in my lifetime, currently and previously. And so, for those of y'all who ain't read this chapter, bro, this is where it go all the way off the hammer. Like, even this quote, I disagree with. Like, man, so she hugging me a bit too hard. Dang, I'm cold. She trying to warm me up, man. She can't be a good Samaritan. My jokes are funny. Nikki. My jokes are funny. So what if she rubbing my back? It's a funny joke. She trying to encourage me. That is what it said, right? Rubbing my back. Oh, slap my knee. Yeah, rub my back, slap my knee. Same difference. And just sometimes you just read too much into these things, Nikki. You just read too
Right.
much into it.
Right.
just,
Like,
you just
my man knee is gonna be a problem.
like, hey man.
It's
You
gonna
just
be a
read too much
whole
into it.
problem. Like, oh, so
And
we slapping things. Okay, we slapping things.
just it was a pat on the back. I don't know, man, but like I said, so on a more serious note, like with friends of the opposite sex, like those boundaries are very important. If not, you end up like myself, where I'm constantly in these situationships with women who I don't understand if we're friends or not. Because on one occasion, like I could think about some couple of weeks ago, we're exchanging like explicit photos and videos of one another. But then if she and I talked yesterday, we were just talking about some cordial friend type topics, like, hey, how you doing? How work going? So on and so forth. And it creates this area of confusion, like where do we really stand? And it's same with actually having like sex with like friends of the opposite sex. It's like we friends, but on the other hand, we're also ultimately intimate. And like I was explaining to somebody, as a matter of fact, the problem isn't like how it starts, like actually having sex with somebody that's your friend. It's the ending, because you've seen it play out like with different celebrities and so on and so forth. Those friends with benefit situations and situations, they carry on for months, sometimes years. And then towards they get to year 2, year 3, he might ultimately say, hey, look, it's been fun, it's been real, but I want to go marry this other chick. And she gonna feel some type of way.
Right.
It
Yeah.
don't matter what happened, how friendly y'all are, what y'all status is, whatever can be. She gonna feel like, hold up, I've been seeing you like last 3 years consistently through all these relationships, and then he gonna go marry who? For what reason?
Right.
That's where the craziness actually comes out with the standpoint. So I give you a lot of examples of this behavior, like my friends that I have, and I keep saying friends because, like I said, I'm really in a no man's land. I don't know what we stand at this point. But when I talk about like my lady friend, for example, like one of them, we have like different conversations. We're really supportive of each other, so on and so forth. But then sometimes I go spend the night at her house on multiple occasions. Another friend, we have like those same type of conversations. Like it's all good, just seeing how the family doing, how's work doing. But then we'll go out to dinner. We'll go out to the movies. We'll go hang out, maybe go for a walk on the Beltline or whatever trail or whatever the case may be. And so that's where it's kind of fuzzy and hazy. Where even when I can think about a situation, she and I went to go celebrate her birthday with her friends, like her other friends, and so on and so forth. And even then, even for them, it's awkward because like, hold up, like y'all hanging out, spending all this time together.
What's new?
Mind you, like I'm saying, like I fronted the money, like I paid for all of us to get in the VIP, so and it was like a really turn night and everything. But even like her friends and like her family member looking like, okay, so y'all just friends, but he done front all the money up. Like, so what that optic or what that dynamic look like? And that's awkward for the two people because I'm saying like, so can I go talk to other women while I'm here? Because I have no shame. Obviously, I'm a THOT, so I have no shame. But is that cool? Is that not cool? I had that situation. I went to the bar, as a matter of fact. My friend's mother, another homegirl, like I said, THOT. I own it. I wear it as a badge of honor. But I went to the bar with one of my friends. She was celebrating something for like one of her family members. And it's weird because we're not together. But virtually, she told me I couldn't talk to any other women in the bar. And I'm like, God damn, knew I shouldn't have came. Dang.
Hmm.
And one young lady slid in there looking really good. I'm like, I want to go over there, but I don't want my homegirl to go act crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, well,
See,
I'm
stuff
gonna have to
like
meet you in the
that.
parking lot.
That's why there has to be clear lines, because if nothing is defined, then there should be nothing wrong with you going to talk to somebody else at the club. you know, Go ahead. Help me. I don't understand.
Here the problem, there are clear lines. And so for people to be very clear, like these conversations happen beforehand, but we're humans, we're emotional, we're illogical when we become emotional.
That's true.
We're all grown, cool. So there are clear lines like, look, we're just hanging out, we're just having fun, we're just having sex. The clear line is established. That's where we stand. But you get to episode 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, somebody is going to start to think it's more than what it is. And it's like, no, it just is what we agreed to be.
Yeah.
And that's when everything goes off the rail. It's going to get derailed. Like somebody's going to catch feeling. Normally it's been the woman, but it happens on the flip side with men as well. But I'm speaking from my perspective. And it's going to go off the hammer. It just is.
Yeah.
Especially if it results in like a unplanned pregnancy. Oh, we're gonna be together. Well, I
Ooh.
mean, ooh, yeah, I know. Ooh. Ooh, it's like, oh yeah, I'll be supportive, definitely child support, come pick the kid up every other weekend, joint custody. What I thought we were gonna get married. What you think that for? Like, oh, time out, bro. What you talking about? We
Right.
was just hanging out. Like, what you mean, bro? Best believe there's gonna be some scorn. God has no fear like a woman scorn. There's gonna be some vitriol. It's gonna be all chaos in that room, man.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, Nikki. Like, we draw the line, but it's like once some clothes come off, everybody they just all them boundaries and agreements just go out the window. Oh,
Yeah.
we did such. Like, I
That's
mean,
true. And that's why also I feel like as a like we grown, like we not in college anymore. Like we're not young like that anymore. So there just should be no confusion as to what we're doing. Like at this point, if you're not dating to marry, I don't understand what you're doing. I really don't. I don't understand what you're doing. What's the point here? Help me out, Jerome.
we're having fun, Nikki. We're having fun.
That's not
Sheesh.
fun.
We're having it. Oh, it's fun. Trust me. Oof, it's fun.
When I say it's not, oh God, this like Jerome's name is Bill Bellamy in my phone, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Bellamy, because he is how to be a player.
Yeah. I'm a
But
bad influence. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a
I
bad
don't
influence.
think it's fun. Like I feel like, uh, just speaking from my perspective, like not having one person that you can just, that's your person. Like to have a multitude of people that you fool with. every once in a while. And sometimes, oh my God, I can't with you. Sometimes it's like, you know, you can talk to whoever you want to, and then sometimes it's don't talk to nobody else in the club. Like, what are we doing here? What you doing? What? Come on, help me out. I don't understand. I
Okay,
don't.
that one person has one personality. If you got five different personalities. So depending on how you feel, like so your chill days, you got that chill dude you go talk to. Them days you want to be lit, you got that lit dude you go talk to. That day you really need like some real good inspirational advice, you will talk to your little church homeboy, whoever he is, you know what I'm saying? Them days, you know, it's whatever. You got that dude
I
too, like
get.
just something
I get it.
spontaneous.
I mean, I definitely understand. I definitely understand it. Yeah. I don't know. It's not for me. But hey, who am I? But it's just important, guys. It's important to make sure that you try to form some boundaries with friends of the opposite sex. And like I said, a lot of times people just don't care. Like even if the boundary has been formed, and I'm not gonna lie, I have been that girl. Okay, I'm in a committed relationship now, but before I was long time ago, I was that girl that I didn't really care. Like I have a really close relationship with a guy friend, and when he got in a relationship, I didn't care in the beginning because I was like, I don't know who she is. I don't know how long she gonna be around. Me and him been kicking it for a long time. Like, I don't know who she, I don't care. I called whenever I wanted to, text whenever I want to. I didn't care. Like, I just didn't care. But after a while, I was like, okay, you're disrespectful. You're disrespectful. You can't do that. You got to practice what you preach, because in my relationship, if you know that was happening on the other side, it would be a really huge problem. So if you don't want it done to you, don't do it to somebody else. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Just be aware. Whatever you do, make sure that if you do it, then if it's done to you, then you wouldn't be upset about it. You don't want to, because karma comes back around, and you don't want the karma to come back around in that way, because somebody could go to jail. Somebody really could.
Yup. Yep. And when that karma hits you, it hits you because sometimes, and I can tell you from personal experience, when you having friends and y'all just quote unquote having fun, so to speak, if we try to progress it forward, for example, and move into the relationship stage, we find out very quickly why we were just friends to begin with.
Yes,
Because
so
it
true.
don't work at all. It's like, bro, look, we're just friends that happen to find each other sexually attractive. Like there was no actual real bond there to actually substantiate a real relationship, committed relationship, marriage, so on and so forth. So then that karma come back, and then you end up in a situation where, dang, I done lost my sex buddy and my friend. The friend
Oh,
I could deal with. The sex buddy part, I'm like, dang, gotta
that's
go back out there and recruit, man. Yeah,
that's
yeah, I know it's cold world out there, like for real, for real. And so now that I've exposed my ratchetness for all the internet to see, I'm probably gonna laugh at it 50 years from now, or yeah, I'll probably just laugh at it, whatever. Anyways, so now when we get to the actual important part, like the responsible part of this program, we talk about boundaries. I can tell you a lot about setting up boundaries. One, this is what I found is work to stop like everything from going off the rails chaotic. It's not foolproof. So you talk to your friend about what your friend is looking for. And so I had a young lady who I like to set up something casual with, but she got morals. She wanted to be responsible and respect herself. I know Nikki, right? I can't with this one. I'm still trying though, bro. I'm still trying. I'm persistent. Nikki, what's that Bible word? Faithful without works is dead. I don't know. Is that how it
yes.
goes? Yeah, they're faithful without work, goddamn. I'm faithful, not to women, but I got faith in myself. That if I keep trying,
God help me.
I keep working, it's gonna come to me. Won't he do it though? Okay. But back to what I was saying, I just went off on that. Like I said, this is one of the wildest chapters for me in my writing. But anyways, and so what it comes down to, like what really helps, like on the serious note, is establish what you want and what you're looking for. Like this individual told me up front that she does want to be in a committed relationship. She does want to find her husband. She does not want to be in any type of casual sex relationship. So she's like, all right, cool. So we friends, and I'm just waiting for her to get over this. But we friends, and everything's been cordial as of now, and we still talk and communicate on a regular, have long, extensive conversations. And so that's good for ladies like upfront, because especially ladies seem to not want to be in this scenario, which I completely agree with. And so that's one boundary that's really good. Also, physical distance is really good. I don't think people who are just friends, like men and women, should actually live with each other like in cohabitation. Because it's only so many times let me see her walk by and whatever she wearing before I say, so you want to sleep in my room tonight, or what we doing? So it's like that's another good one as well.
Yeah.
Plus, don't be friends with people you're highly attracted to, like just overly attracted to. Like Nikki, I wouldn't recommend you be friends with Michael B. Jordan. I mean, you want to be faithful, but I mean, if you just want to hang out, things might go down. So
That's
it
true.
is what it is on that one. So don't be friends with somebody that you just like. If they look like, I guess, Michael B. Jordan or Beyonce to you, whatever side of the fence you stand on, don't even do it to yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Shoot your shot. If you miss, just keep moving. And so these are like good boundaries that you can set up and not find yourself in a situation. And every now and again, like I said, not foolproof, because in my experience, when I know one for like a real long time, that friendliness, that rapport, that energy is just there.
Mhm.
And then in the wrong situation, it just ignites itself. Like I could just be going over there to help her with taxes, and next thing you know, we're like nude in her room. And it's like, I'll just come and do your taxes. But I mean, we over here, so why not?
Yeah.
That's why when me and Nikki wrote this book, we were not around each other at all. It's like, yeah.
Right.
Completely remote. I
Yeah.
mean, it's 10 o'clock. You want to keep riding or you want to do something else?
Here with you. Oh my God. But that's so funny. And just sitting here too, as I'm thinking about things, it's also important. I don't know if I put this in the book, but it's also important to make sure that if you just have to have a friend that is the opposite sex. Once again, example, Jerome is one of my best friends. Jerome will always be my friend. So no matter what relationship I'm in, I'm gonna have to explain Jerome because he's my friend and I don't want to see him go anywhere. So in my current relationship, that's one of the first things that I did was explain. It was like the three guys in my life who are friends, only friends. I don't have nothing going on with them. If you see their name pop up on my phone, you don't have to worry. This is who this is. This is why we're friends. And so my partner is comfortable with Jerome. He'll ask me like, "Oh, you talked to Jerome today? Did y'all talk about the book?" Like he's comfortable with it because I made it clear and I made it known that this is only a friend. You have nothing to worry about. But when you being suspicious and you trying to hide the phone when she texts you, or you trying to you didn't change her name to your sister name, and like being real sneaky, right? That's where the biggest problem in lies, and that just goes back to the first chapter in the book, communication. If things are clear in your communication, then all of these things really can work out and be ironed out. But if not, then it's gonna cause a problem every time. So we're gonna wrap this up though. But Jerome, do you have anything else to say on the opposite sex?
Yeah, your boyfriend gonna dump you when he sees this episode. He like, hey, you got a decision to make right here and now. Me or Jerome?
He would
Hey,
never.
that last comment I made about, hey, it's 10 o'clock. You won't keep writing, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna be allowed to text you for a good 6 months. He like, nah, bro, block that number. I'll tell you when I'm
But
blocking.
listen, too, this is another point. I said I was just gonna wrap it up, but this is another point too. If you're in a serious relationship with somebody and they're not comfortable with your friend of opposite sex, then you do kind of I feel like you do have to be willing to give them up. Like if me and him was married and he did say, "Hey, listen, I'm not comfortable with you and Jerome being friends," I might have to be like, "Look, we had a good run. We had a good run. I wish you all the best. Any proceeds from the book that come in, be sure to send you your part." But
That's hilarious.
but you really have to be like willing to, if you're in a serious relationship with somebody. But also, the only way he would ever say that is if he was uncomfortable, if he felt uncomfortable or felt like there was anything more than only friendship. So just be respectful of your partner, and partners try to be understanding as much as possible. So okay, well, we're gonna wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you have enjoyed. Let me get us off here so you can see us both. I hope that you have enjoyed our second episode of Conversations with the Authors, where we delved into chapter 3 and chapter 4 of the book. We definitely had a great time talking about it. We're not gonna hold you all too long. We could stay here an hour more talking about just talking about these two chapters because there's so much to unpack and so much to delve into. But like I said, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks with our last episode of Conversations with the Authors with chapter 5 and chapter 6. So please join us again so you can get all the details about Battle of the Sexes. And anything else, Jerome, before we go?
Yeah, chapter 4 is like the foreword to this book called Thought Chronicles. You know what I'm saying? So that probably gonna be the next project. It's gonna be
He got
epic.
that on his own.
Nikki, we friends. Come on, man. Don't leave me out there like that.
Now, if we write a book called Thought Chronicles, my partner might get uncomfortable. Okay, well, until next time, we are signing out. Nikki is signing out. My Wi-Fi is trash is signing out, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.